Hey everyone, Liz King here, and I want to share a little bit about the fun of home insurance and chat a little flooding and take a little trip down memory lane to hopefully save you from some of the issues and problems that I've seen as a homeowner. So 10 years ago in Austin, there was a month of just heavy rainfall in May. And during that time, on Memorial Day weekend, the end of May, the biggest storm I've ever seen since living here for almost 20 years hit Austin. And so in our home right near 45th Street in Mopac, which was not in any flood zone, we flooded. And I remember this because I was newly pregnant with my son. And so as the water's falling, all of a sudden it's about a foot, maybe almost to my knee of water coming straight at our house in our backyard. And so my husband said, "Get out here, come help me get the water around the house." And then he looked at me and goes, "Wait, you're pregnant, get back in the house." Okay, fine, so I'm back in the house. I'm watching him try to sweep water around our foundation. We had friends over because it was gonna be a barbecue, and instead they very kindly helped us try to put towels and sheets all along our baseboards to try to save the wood floors. And after, 45 minutes or an hour, eventually the water just came. It was here, it was coming, and there was just nothing to do. We kept trying to squeeze out the towels, put them back down, but eventually, we just saw the water in the house. Super helpless feeling. Do not recommend. So then the question is, okay, what do you do? And in my head, I'm like, okay, well, we have insurance. So surely insurance will recognize water in a house is problematic and they'll help us. And this is not me ragging on insurance. I just didn't think. So when I called, they said, "Oh, you have water in your house. We're so sorry. Where's the water coming from?" And I'm like, well, it's coming from outside because because of all this rain. And they said, "Well, thank you. We understand. We wish you luck, but that's not actually covered because that's floodwaters." And I'm like, "But we're not in a flood zone." And they said, "Yes, but it's floodwaters because that's where the water is coming from." So your home insurance policy will help if, potentially if you have like a pipe burst and it was something that, the water is coming from inside the house and now it's leaking and now it has created water damage in your house. But if you only get flood coverage if you get flood insurance, which we didn't because we weren't in a flood zone. So in case you're wondering, step one is that you get all these industrial dehumidifiers and fans, and they are super loud, and the goal is to dry up all that water, and you end up feeling so dry and you're like a raisin. And they try to soak up all the water in the atmosphere or in your house, and then then you have to fix whatever had this water damage. And so for us, because the home was all one floor, we had wood floors, we had to replace all of them. We had to replace carpet, we had to replace maybe a foot of drywall to make sure that there wasn't going to be mold that was growing in the walls. And kind of just got me thinking, man, I want to make sure you know what your coverage is. And I know sometimes they say read your policy, but you can't, if you're not in this every day, you just don't necessarily know what each of those items mean. And then also just, when I go shopping with clients for homes, kind of one of the first questions is always, what does the drainage look like? Is there any negative slope towards the house? Do they have a French drain installed? Do they have gutters? Where's the water going to go? Because I really just want to save you from, the challenges and trials of dealing with fluky incidents that could happen and could affect you negatively. So if you are ready to shop for your next home, you need help evaluating those water situations, please reach out. I would love to help you put down your next Texas roots.